Good evening. I'll now call to order the February 24th, 2022 WSESD Public Information Meeting. That is the only item on the agenda. I believe we will have a presentation and a question and answer period available to the public. And also, before we get started, I noted that this will be the last official school board meeting for Jackie Reynolds and Thomas Nolan. And I wanted to take a minute to draw that to everyone's attention and also to thank them. Jackie served on the SU and the Finance Committee and a lot of other ways that didn't have anything to do with committees. And Thomas was chair of the Social Justice and the Climate Crisis Task Force, two very important positions and a lot of good work. A lot of good work is done by both of them. So just want to express the board's gratitude and also point out that they both have very young children, so we're not gonna let you get far away. But again, to Thomas and Jackie, thank you very much. What I'd like to do now is turn the meeting over to the Finance Committee and our and Dr. Rucker, our business manager. Sean, would you like to begin to tell us a little what's going to happen this evening?
Yes, I would. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
And thank you for recognizing Jackie and Thomas. That was really well done. Thank you. Yeah, I think what I'll do is give a brief presentation, and then Jackie agreed to also give a presentation of her for herself, the one that she did prior, which was so informative. And I spoke with Michelle today, so she might have some comments, and then we'll have Frank Rucker chime in for a little bit and entertain questions from the public and anybody else. So I actually wrote something, so I'll just read it. An important consideration in developing the FY23 budget this year has been the effect of the pandemic on students, staff, and families. Great credit should be given to everyone for weathering this storm. Resilience, patience, creativity, and flexibility have been words to live by when operating our educational system for the past year. The WSESD has crafted a budget in the amount of $60,293,844 for the FY23. This budget represents an increase of 7.6% over the amended FY22 budget. Despite the increase of the budget, estimated tax rates in Putney, Dummerston, and Guilford are projected to decrease slightly. Brattleboro will see a modest increase of the tax rate of less than 1%. As the severity of the pandemic was realized, the federal and state governing bodies were made available substantial funds so that the schools could implement recovery plans for learning loss and also affording implementation of capital plan improvements directly related to the improved learning environments. These methods of relief are the American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA it's called, and the Elementary School and Secondary Emergency Relief Funds, the ESSER grants. The state of Vermont, so that's the huge relief that we felt really for almost the last 2 years, and it will actually extend into 2024 also. The state of Vermont legislates the income dollar equivalent yield. This year, the yield is 20% larger than the previous year. which is a very good thing. The number has a direct effect on lowering the equalized local tax rate to a 1.630, a reduction of 5.2% from FY22. So that the ARPA and the ESSER funds, in conjunction with the yield, made it pretty favorable for us to create a budget that could take into account the extra funds that we needed for the recovery plan. Tax rates in the four towns produce very similar results in tax bills in each town. For each $100,000 of assessed value, a property owner would pay a low in Putney of $1,600 to a high in Brattleboro of $1,756. That's on $100,000 of assessed value. This difference in tax amounting to $156 in the two towns is directly related to the common level of appraisal number set by the Vermont Department of Taxes. So that yield change of almost 20% up is a huge relief for funding education this year. The yield in grants received mean we can apply funds to the recovery plan as needed without adversely impacting property owners with higher taxes. With the passage of this budget, the district will be able to continue the important task of educating all students in the year to come. And in closing, I'd like to commend the independent budget review. The creation of the independent budget review committee provided excellent collaborative oversight of the budget development. Their report details and highlights challenges and innovation. And the report reviews the work of the board in budget development. Countless hours were spent by 4 residents of one from each of the 4 towns, scrutinizing the budget and crafting their report. The district is grateful for their commitment to reviewing every page of this budget. So thank you very much to them. And that's about all that I have to say. So I think I would like at this time to turn it over to our esteemed financial budget committee member, Jackie. And it's once again, thank you for all you've done, Jack. Really, it's been excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. And thank you, David, for saying that. I appreciate it. May I share my screen?
Yeah, I think.
Yes. Yeah, let me hit the button here.
Thank you so much. And this document I'm going to share, I realized I might have asked this earlier, but I wonder if it might be appropriate to, if I get it in a more shareable format, to maybe put it on the Facebook page, because it's got some links that just make information easier for people to find. It certainly was for me. So hang on. All right. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect, perfect. All right, so I enjoy the budget and the number side and all of those things, but when I looked at the budget, I was really interested in just seeing kind of all in one place what we were going to do with the ESSER funds that we had, like what were our goals, how were we going to get there, what we were going to spend the money on. So I kind of consolidated all of that into this document. Hang on, let me make a little more space on my screen here so you can see it all. Okay, so The first link at the top is to the budget timeline so that people could reference and see how the whole process unfolds, because I think it's a really good first step in understanding how the budget process works. If you don't realize, there are just so many steps that have to be followed in order to get to the point we're at right now. So it's just really helpful, I find, to reference that. So that's that first link up here. And then this chart is organized into goals from our recovery plan. And then the recovery plan also has activities like what we're going to do to meet the goals. And then I went to the proposed spending form, the budget from the budget proposal rather, to figure out which, like where we were spending the money. So the goal, the activity, and what exactly we were spending money on. So the first link right up here is the recovery plan. And then this other link right here is the budget proposal. Both really nice, well thought out documents too. So there's a lot more to read in those than just what I've presented. But I picked out what I thought were some highlights. So an example, a goal in our recovery plan is to increase students' social emotional learning competencies of self-management, engagement, and self-efficacy. I'm sorry, I have a little bit of a cold. And then the activity, how we're going to do that, we're going to hire additional mental health supports, clinicians and social workers, and provide required supervision. And then over in the budget proposal, hire social workers and behavioral support specialists. The next one I picked out was to decrease the number of students who've been absent for 15 days or more. Personally, that would be wonderful. My kids have missed a ton of school. I think everybody has, but it's nice to see that within this budget, there's a plan for addressing that. So we're going to hire specialized staff to address high-need families, and it may include an engagement coordinator, social workers, community partners, emphasizing outreach to families who have disengaged, and then embedded professional development for integrating engagement strategies. And then from the budget proposal, it says that's what we're going to do. We're going to hire the social workers, behavioral support specialists, nursing staff, and a recovery coordinator. And some of that money is earmarked for staff professional development, which is always great. This one is my favorite, which is why there's a whole notes column about it. A goal to increase general education participation rates for students with IEPs in the 80% or more least restrictive environment category will increase by 15%. The activities that we're going to use to do that are implement a building-based instructional coaching model to support embedded collaborative professional development, which I know we do a lot of. And we're going to provide professional development in universal design for learning with embedded coaching to ensure all students will receive core instruction and appropriate supports. And then we're also going to develop and implement improved data system to allow more accessibilities for teacher and school leaders. And this is how we propose to do it with the budget for staff professional development and spending money on technology, hardware, and software for instruction. And again, I said this is the most exciting part to me because we got the greatest presentations about universal design for learning. And it's something that I've seen with my kids, nieces and nephews and other kids. And it just seems really exciting to me. It seems to really exemplify the least restrictive environment because basically it's just a way of thinking about teaching and learning to give all students an equal opportunity to succeed. And a lot of it is, flexibility. Like some kids do better in a different environment than other kids. And some kids can be really successful solving a math problem, writing it on paper. Other kids are going to be more successful solving a math problem with a ruler or a measuring tape and showing them how to do their fractions that way. And, actual educators, not myself, are going to have much better and more exciting ideas about this. But just the idea of being more flexible about how we give the assignments and teach and the work that the kids do to show us their understanding. It's a really exciting direction for us to be going in educationally, and was happy to see that we have plans to spend some budget money on that. And then the last one I picked was a goal to decrease the gaps in academic performance, graduation, and failure rates between students in underserved populations and their peers. And this to me is the most important thing that we do, is to decrease gaps in performance. And it's important that we're always focusing on underserved student populations, whether that be because of economic disparity or race or developmental delays and disabilities. So I personally was very excited to see that that's a goal, and we're going to do that again by implementing a building-based instructional coaching model, provide professional development, and again, develop and implement improved data system. And we're going to spend money on instructional coaches, professional development, technology, hardware, and software for instruction. And then I just picked a few other little things that are in the budget proposal just to remind people that we want to spend some money on these things. So the COVID coordinator, recovery coordinator, pre-K coordinator, diversity and inclusion coordinator, and building improvements to support healthy learning spaces. There's a lot of that going on right now, which definitely gets touched on in the capital plan and has been discussed in a lot of meetings. The Academy project is going to make big changes to special education classrooms, and I'm super excited about that. So that is my overview, and if I can get a more manageable format so we can get on the Facebook page in case anybody's interested in clicking on the links and seeing where I got all this information. I suppose that that is it. I'm so sorry about my voice right now.
Thank you very much, Jackie. That was excellent again. So it's nice to see it. And Michelle, would you like to, you had said that perhaps you had something to add to the discussion as the other finance committee member?
Yeah, I didn't have anything particular to add. I think you guys both did such a great job. Jackie, I really thank you. I think people can really value hearing is our budget talked about in like a tangible way to understand of how, where that money is being applied to. And that's, I think, what most of us are interested in is where is our money going and how is it being shared? So I really appreciate that effort. And also, I have to say, too, that the Independent Budget Review Committee, their report is fantastic. It's presented in such an easy to understand way. And I think that that's, it helps people to be interested and to be engaged if they can understand the process. And so I was really impressed, and I would encourage someone who wants to see a big overview in one spot, that's a great place to look. And that will be that is up on the website and will be up on the Facebook page. And yeah, good job, everybody.
Thank you, Michelle. And Frank, I bet you have something that you would like to add.
Well, it's really just to echo the very good work of the board and the Independent Budget Review Committee, their feedback, their questions, and also just to recognize that so much of the work comes right from our teachers, of course, and the principals in the buildings, where they shape certainly help define the need of our students, and then of course, very much inform the strategies and the resources that we need in the budget to meet those needs. So I really don't have any specifics to add, but certainly happy to answer any questions if we can.
Thank you, Frank. So I'll open it up for questions, and then David, I might as well hand the chair back to you. I think we've done our presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sean. And I will repeat the request for questions. Are there any questions from the public about the budget or any of the information that was just shared, or any of the information that's otherwise available in the many pages of documents? Well, while I'm waiting for people to raise their hands, I also wanted to thank Christina Naylor, who is here at the meeting as well. She's one of the 4 people that was on the Independent Budget Review Committee and contributed a great deal to that process. Thank you, Christina. I'm not seeing any questions. Anne is applauding Christina. Thank you.
David, if I just mention for folks that are maybe watching the cable recording, just a reminder that originally we were scheduled to vote on March 15, third Tuesday, But that was changed to voting by Australian ballot on March 1st due to the pandemic. So just a important reminder that once again the pandemic has changed the voting format from the way the articles were written for the district, and once again Australian ballot in each of our member towns at the polls.
And that's also like to offer a reminder to everyone, if you haven't already voted, the polls will be open at your town clerk's office or at the American Legion in Brattleboro on March 1st all day and close at 7 p.m. So please be sure to vote. I'm not seeing any questions. I think you folks kind of knocked it out of the park.
We do put the fun in funds on the finance committee.
That's clear.
Thank you, Jackie.
Or do you mean the pun in fun? Okay, that's enough. That's really. Well, I would ask then Ann Beekman to perform her much appreciated function and maybe say a little bit about it before you perform it, Ann, since we have an extra audience here tonight.
Once again, this is the way that Bruce Barton signed off the BUHS District Number 6 board at every meeting. And I see where Michelle has her hand up, so maybe we
Yes.
don't want to adjourn just yet.
Yeah, so you can hold that, but thank you for mentioning Ruth. Go ahead, Michelle.
Sorry, David, is this your last meeting with us as the chair?
Unless something, well, we have a executive session on Monday.
Okay, okay. Well, I'll honor you publicly in case people don't see that one. And I just wanted to thank you for your time and all the work you've put in. And I know that you'll just keep working right by our side, but just wanted to acknowledge that as well, that if this is your last big public meeting. So thank you.
Thank you. I was hoping to get away without that public embarrassment. Thank you, Michelle. Kelly has a question as well.
I would add on to what Michelle said and thank you as well for all the time and effort you've put into being the chair. It certainly has been a lot of work, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Deborah. Oh, I'm afraid we've lost.
Sorry.
Oh,
No,
there you are.
my hand was not up. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Okay, sorry about that.
Great, thank you. Okay, Ann, thank you. We'll try again.
Mr. Chair, there being no further business before this board, I move that we adjourn.
Second.
I have motion to adjourn, seconded by Liz Adams. All those in favor, please unmute and indicate by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, we are adjourned at 6:23. Thank you, everyone. Please take time to email everybody you know to get the votes out.